Missions Pulse. Know God's heart, join his mission.
There is great confusion both around the Great Commission as well as the word missionary. We use it very superfluously. I'm a missionary to my family. I'm a missionary in my cul-de-sac, etc. Spurgeon even said, you're either a missionary or an imposter. I think it's become convoluted what is a missionary. Strangely enough, you talk about the Great Commission. Do you find it's difficult then to kind of rally the troops for mobilization to fulfill the Great Commission when, as of March 2018, I think Pew Research did this research that said 51% of churchgoers in America don't know what the Great Commission is. With that kind of hurdle, how does that affect you?
Well, I'd say for 20 years, I sought to, I'll use quotes around mobilize the American church. And God did some great things. And the traveling team, for instance, has had great impact. Todd and Claude Hickman have been leading that thing for 20 years now and do an awesome job. There's other, tools and trainings that we and other groups have sought to do. But, let's face it, the American church, we're so affluent. We're so distracted. We're so enslaved and captured by so many other things that to ever get them to really, think outside our own little world here, to say there's a world that needs to be reached. When you share with them that 86% of all Hindus, Buddhists, and Muslims will live and die and never have the opportunity to even meet a Christ follower. Well, that just heaps guilt upon them. They don't know what to do with that, and that's we're in denial. The American church, out of sight, out of mind, and so. At some point, about 7 or 8 years ago, David, our organization, our leadership are sitting around a table, and we've been spending years and years trying to mobilize the American church, and we haven't given up on the American church at all.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I appreciate that disclaimer.
God, but we were seeing such amazing results in Latin America, Africa, Asia, even Europe.
Wow.
I mean, 10 times the amount of response that we were seeing in the United States. We finally looked at each other and said, who are we trying to kid here?
Yeah.
Who are we trying to fool? I mean, who are we trying to impress here? There's all kinds of churches and groups and organizations and ministries just inundated here in the United States. And yet there's virtually almost nothing, it feels like, in some of these other parts of the world that are so responsive to being mobilized towards the Great Commission. So our senior leaders, every one of them just about, we empowered them to recruit their team, and we started assigning different parts of the world, and that thing has grown to the point where now, 70, 89% of what we do is in the rest of the world, and the response is just, and that really flows into what we believe is that it's Latin America's turn. It's Africa's turn. It's Asia's turn. It's even Europe's turn. We Americans are so ethnocentric, so self-centered, so egocentric that we think Acts 1:8 just applies to us.
Yeah.
Oh, no. No.
The uttermost parts of the world is not LA to New York, right?
That's right. So, we need to, they must increase and we must decrease in a sense. And so, how can we come in with a humble, serving attitude, a backseat attitude to the Latin American church, country by country? They want to raise up and send missionaries. Now, have they done it, or do they know how to? Well, maybe not. But we can now be of service to them in a humble, serving, encouraging, resourcing way to say, now you can create pipelines to the unreached, and that's the way we're going to finish this Great Commission. David, we've had the Great Commission for 2,000 years now.
Yeah.
America's
that's a long time.
Been sitting at foreign missionaries now for 208 years. But we still have almost 3 billion people cut off from the gospel. If we keep doing missions the same way over and over again, but expect different results. Here in Arkansas, we call that insanity.
I think cross beyond the borders of Arkansas, you're still going to call it by the same term.
Well, we got to think outside the box. And I think this concept of mobilization, helping the body of Christ country by country in these other parts of the world to now they become an incredible sending nation themselves. I think that is the key, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's what we've dedicated ourselves to, is serving the body of Christ country by country and letting them raise up and prepare and send their own cross-cultural workers to the unreached. And we are serving them and those national leaders in a country by country basis. That's really what the CMM is all about.
I hear my mind's ringing with so many ideas right now, because you're talking about previous historical methods of the West to the rest, and now the global South, this missions fervor arising. It is no longer the West to the rest, but the reached to the unreached. Not only that, a lot of cultural hurdles that we as Americans have to overcome to even make a friend, befriend people, let alone spread abroad the gospel message. Whereas a Brazilian could take the gospel around surrounding nations much better than we can. I mean, I can say "Yo quiero Taco Bell," and that's not even Portuguese to Spanish, but linguistically, culturally, ethnically, there are so many powerful ways that we can. I like the posture that you're taking as well, servant-heartedness.
Missions Pulse. Know God's heart, join His mission. This podcast is powered by Within Reach Global. Subscribe, watch, and listen on YouTube today. Visit missionspulse.com.